Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from right next door. He's not too far away down the hall from our office. It is your city administrator, Chad Brecklin. You know, it really works. Like, if you were ever a baseball player, soccer player, like, that's what, if you were walking out, that's the way I would call it. Did you do any sports like that where they called your name? Like you were that high in the level of...
Nothing that would be that memorable, no. If you consider a high school athletic event, but, you know, that...
Chad Brecklin for three!
Yeah,
like
not really too many threes, so no.
What were you, a soccer...
I was a football player, believe it or not,
What did you play?
I played outside linebacker / cornerback.
I'd say you
and a
look
wide
like
receiver.
You look like a tight end to me.
Yeah,
might be good.
Yeah.
I gave up on football.
Sure.
I didn't know. I tried it in middle school.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. I played a little basketball too, but mostly on the bench. So
that's on the phone. Well, you didn't have phones then, so you
we had to pay attention. There were no distractions at that point in time.
All right, well, we're a minute in, and you haven't got a single update on besides who you are and your history, but we'll table that. We got some important things to talk about today. First one is the property taxes will be coming out here if they haven't already, pending when you're watching this. But a good reminder on talking a little bit about what goes into this. Obviously, budget plays a big portion of this too, but understanding too increases, decreases, or what's the makeup. Your summary of what people should expect this year.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, tax bills should be arriving in mailboxes the week of December 11th here. As you mentioned, depending on when folks are tuning into this, they may have already had the opportunity to receive and open their tax bill from the city. And I will add that while it is mailed from the city, it is a tax bill that covers 4 taxing entities, including the city of Fitchburg. Those other 3 entities are, of course, Dane County has a share of the property tax bill. The respective school district that you live in, be it Madison, Verona, or Oregon, has a portion of that tax bill. And then Madison Area Technical College also has a portion of the tax bill. I would encourage folks to take a look at the insert that is included with the tax bill. It shares a variety of different useful bits of information that can be utilized as you review your tax bill to understand where your tax dollars go here in the city of Fitchburg. There's a section on some kind of fast facts, related to things like, what is our overall budget, what was our net new construction. Those sorts of things are all in there. And I am, I do want to note that from a Fitchburg perspective, the actual increase on the average assessed residential home, which is about just under $382,000, the increase in the city portion of the tax, property taxes, was about $26. So the city council really tried to make a concerted effort to ensure that the local impact on our residents' tax bills was not more significant. I do recognize that may not have been the case for other taxing jurisdictions. There are some notable increases. I think our Verona and our Oregon school district property owners, the average assessed home that I had mentioned earlier, their taxes are going up, about over $700 annually, which is obviously a notable increase. Largely, in most cases, due to referendum that were passed, but also that Dane County had also had a notable increase in its property tax assessments or bills this year as well, or their portion. So
you said a lot of things there, and I think importantly, if you have a chance, you can go back and watch budget. What Chad just said is what was talked about during budget time at different things, looking at it as a whole. But check out the insert, check out the website. We'll be doing interviews with the finance team as well, breaking down. We do it each and every year to help with that. And I do want you to comment on it too. We do have some new software that we're working with this year. So, as we adhere to that new software, we know that you want to get in and out, and but there are some advantages to this new software as well. So, be ready.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. We do have some limited term employees who are help us take and serve our residents and collect those payments as they come in. As you can imagine, there's typically a rush, through the end of the year as folks potentially want to take that property tax for a deduction on their income taxes. And as you mentioned, we are utilizing some new software. It is county-wide. There are a number of municipalities who are kind of, doing a trial run this year with it, Fitchburg being one of them. But I think, there's about a half a dozen or so other municipalities that are also utilizing this software that's coming from Dane County. So the software is designed to be more helpful and user-friendly. As an example, typically, the receipts, would be property tax payments would be receipted, every couple of weeks prior to the software being implemented. And with the new software, those property tax payments will be available through Access Dane within a matter of days or a week or so at the most. So that is one at least advantage. It will help residents or property owners access a receipt if they didn't, get one when they paid the tax or paid it, through the mail or credit card or e-check or whatever the case may be. And it's also an efficiency thing too, right? So it's less keying and, avoids maybe a few phone calls to the property taxing entities for a question about, hey, can I get a receipt? So,
well, I think knowing too that it is, it's kind of, something being tried with other municipalities locally, and definitely again improving processes is.
That's the hope.
I think it's always the hope in government work beyond. So, but we'll again check the website. Got any questions? They're also a great team to answer questions as well on any parts of the property tax. Total opposite here, but sort of does play right into property taxes. We had talked about this earlier. It's been talked about in council. You just had a committee of the whole, and we've been talking about possible referendum for city of Fitchburg wise. Where are we at, I guess, as far as an update on what that looks like and going into 2024?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Jeremy, there was a presentation provided by our administrative team on the November Committee of the Whole, which I think was the 29th of November. And I would encourage folks to head to the Fact TV website.
This is a sales pitch always for Fact TV.
They can stream that meeting on demand at whatever time may be best for them to take a look at that. Well, we talked about some of the things and components that our internal workroom has been working on related to a referendum, as well as the work that we've been doing with our external communications consultant that has been hired. We were able to get some refinement from our city council as they continue to ponder the viability of going to referendum in 2024. Looking at a focus potentially for a referendum question pertaining to staffing across multiple disciplines, so to speak, be it public safety and general employees. There was also interest from council for consideration of transit, increasing funding to allow more transit here in the city, and also potentially for operating costs associated with a new police services facility that is hopefully going to be breaking ground late next year, if possible. So those things are all things that we're working on right now as it relates to working with the external communications consultant that we have. They're in the process right now of developing a community-wide survey that will be going out in the first quarter of next year. Right now, that's planned to go out late February or early March, and we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, on this very platform in advance of that survey going out. But it is something that residents who are tuning into this show can at least get an early heads up on, that they can expect to show up in their mailboxes in the first quarter of next year. That will kind of, ask some questions about a referendum and what might be supported there as it relates to that.
And for somebody saying, why do we need a referendum? You obviously you've said some of the reasons, but bottom line, when you're considering a referendum, where are the issues? I don't even want to say issues. I don't know what the right word to say here is, but as you're looking at this, what is contributing to the fact that you got to make a decision here, one way or the other? It's really a decision point. Right.
So there's a variety of different factors that are driving this, and we don't take this decision lightly, right? I mean, we just had a segment on property tax bills, and we certainly recognize that, property taxes, particularly when you factor in all four taxing jurisdictions, are expensive. And we get that. And what we strive here in the city is to at least provide value for that cost, right? Right now, the average residential taxpayer is paying, just over $20 a month, maybe $25 a month for city services. That's just specifically city services, which includes your public safety, your roadway maintenance and snow plowing, your library, senior center, park system, election administration. All of those, a variety of different functions that we provide as a local government come out of that. And one of the things that's been a challenge in getting back more directly to the referendum side of things is with a growing community, it's been a challenge to meet the staffing that's associated with providing the services that we provide throughout our community and at the level that our community has historically expected those services to be provided. There is a growing demand for transit service, in particular improving or enhancing our east-west transit connections, talking northwest Fitchburg through City Hall and the Central City and then off to our northeast Fitchburg and vice versa. And, I've had recent conversations with employers about, it would be really advantageous to have enhanced transit service to allow their labor market to perhaps deepen a bit. We all know how challenging it's been from a labor perspective. And then, of course, levy limits factor in on all of these things, and we look at, a police services facility on the horizon. It's obviously going to cost money to operate, maintain, and ultimately replace systems within that facility. And these are all things that the council is considering including in a referendum question that could go to the voters next year. Spring will be a busy time as we continue to talk about this in largely the first and second quarter of next year. And I encourage folks who have an interest in this referendum conversation and the services and staffing that are being provided by the city via the tax levy to stay tuned. Come to meetings, stay informed, and share your thoughts.
Yeah, and actually that's why we get this guy on the show each and every month is to keep you updated on what's going on. Again, as maybe we just do the Horn of Fact TV one more time because we're here on Fact TV. But all of these do play out. All of these discussions continue to happen there. You can go back and check out these meetings to get a better, understanding of what's been happening, what's to happen, and then a decision point at some point after we get more feedback from everybody. You'll keep us up to date on where we're going.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're out of time. We'll save the recap of this year for next year, 2024. So happy holiday, and more importantly, Happy New Year, my friend. We'll see you back here next year.
Thank you. Same to you.